Hey everybody, welcome back to the Overwatch channel. This is my first ever viewer requested video. I want to thank Sophia, a user that has commented on many videos, I think mostly all of them, and has asked to see a video about the placebo effect, or I thought it would be a good idea for me to do one. I have been aware of this effect, and I'm going to also combine this video with another commonly known effect called the effect of being stared at. Because these are common knowledge things that people are aware of or have experienced, and they also define not only reductive materialism, but when you really think about it, the effect of being stared at and the placebo effect violate religious doctrine as well. And I'll explain all that in this video. So, scientists are completely aware of the placebo effect, and they know that it is real. Here's a Harvard Medical School article on the placebo effect. It is an accepted scientific, it's accepted by reductive materialist scientists as being a real deal phenomena. And they also are aware that it has been rising. Its power has been increasing since previous generations. I found that interesting. I didn't know about it until I started researching more about it for this video. I don't know why, but it's interesting. Perhaps people are becoming more spiritually connected. I don't know. Certainly doesn't seem like it based on the way the world acts most of the time. The placebo effect has many different things. Another thing I didn't know about is that it can affect animals and dogs. But why wouldn't it? Dogs are conscious and they have spirits and they have, they have a soul. So I would expect any conscious thinking creature to be able to tap into the powers of consciousness. So the placebo effect can even make you drunk. It can be affected by location. I didn't know that either. Interesting that it can be affected by location. And when scientists tried to explain the placebo effect, especially reductive materialist scientists, you get crap like this. Basically, they talk about, so when scientists run into an issue that violates their precious model of reality, which is reductive materialism, they resort to this ad hoc bullshit babble that incorporates a lot of the effects they see into their answer, which is no answer at all. So they really have no answer for this, because if they were to admit that, we're not biological robots and something's going on here that clearly violates our model of reality, and not all scientists are reductive materialism, but the ones generally accepted by the mainstream are, and we get bullshit answers like this one. Everything you see, I'll link to the description below. But anyway, the placebo effect not only disproves materialism, but it lets us know that we are spirit beings occupying physical bodies, and that every now and then the system is glitched by our spirit mind, I guess you could say, our soul mind, our conscious mind, whatever you want to call it. The spirituality is something that scientists overlook. They don't want to deal with this when they're looking at the placebo effect. But it also, when you think about it, violates religious doctrine. And here's why. The placebo effect can and has been recorded to have caused cures that, if they were attributed to, say, prayer or to magic healing spells, would be attributed to something supernatural or even miraculous. But in this case, people aren't asking for any kind of spiritual healing. They're just getting it. And when you think about that, now think about it. Atheists or people of all different types of religions could experience this effect. The effect is supernatural or paranormal, I guess you could say. Nothing is really supernatural or paranormal. It's just nature that we have hidden from ourselves or are in denial about. It's all natural. But the fact that you have people that aren't doing anything to tap into the so-called supernatural. They're not invoking a prayer. They're not using some kind of healing spell, but are getting the same effects. Tells you that the spiritual world is something that is, well, just generally beyond our capacity to understand it, especially in light of all the bullshit and indoctrination we're surrounded with from every angle, from the religious, from the scientific world. We're given so much bullshit to deal with through life. Something I have worked very hard in the recent years to shed all my indoctrination, all my previous beliefs, and just accept the unknown sometimes as unknown and move forward. This shows that something innocuous, as thinking a pill will cure you from a doctor, and then that pill that has no medical effects at all cures you of something. If you simply transpose that into, you went to a somebody who practices witchcraft, or you went into your church and you prayed and then you had the same effect, you would be treated completely differently. You would be seen as a completely different entity. But the placebo effect is scientifically accepted, and that's what you really got to focus on. And the fact that it has removed all the intentions of tapping into anything spiritual, and yet it still happens. So it not only violates reductive materialism, but it violates religious doctrine as well. Now, like you could say that the placebo effect is a scientific proof of how things like magic or prayer can happen. And in some cases, now that's not part of this video, of course you can have group prayer, a Christian group prayer group about somebody sick, and you can actually send that person a healing, apparently. There's been scientific studies about group prayers working. So, but this video isn't about emitting healing or transmitting healing or invoking it through some other means. It's about your own mind, your own person healing yourself through no other means than somehow hacking the universe with your mind, I guess you could say, and allowing your body to heal because you gave it some kind of instruction to do so, and the reality of your body's illness was altered. This is freaking amazing when you think about it. The other thing that is pretty much universal, I think everybody's aware of this, is the effect of being stared at. Now, the effects of being stared at is commonly known in the real world, and not only that, is commonly taught to soldiers not to stare at their targets as they're moving into them, because the target will turn around and look at you or know that you're coming. This is something else that violates reductive materialism, and it also violates religious doctrine because it's just a common phenomenon. There is no demonic activity going on here. We're not Kundalini yoga people trying to tap into our higher consciousness, blah, blah, blah. It's like the vigilant Christian would babble on about or something. This is a phenomena that it just happens, okay? And as I mentioned before, like when I told you about an Indian arrowhead, a Native American arrowhead I found in my backyard when I used to live in New Jersey when I was young, this phenomena can just happen. You can just glitch the system, temporarily become clairvoyant or psychically aware of something, and then go back to reality, or the reality we're commonly experiencing together. These things show that the spiritual world is kind of hard to pin down exactly as to what triggers it or how it can be how it can manipulate our material world perceptions. And it also shows that there's a lot more going on here than you can explain by any kind of religious doctrine or scientific book. But both parties, if you have your fixed beliefs, you're going to stick to them no matter what. There's nothing I can do to change your minds. People that are assholes will remain assholes. But Rupert Sheldrake had done 2 studies here. You can read all about them. But it's something that, it doesn't require scientific study. The amazing part about some of this stuff is that you experience it. And you don't even ask for it. You're not playing with your Ouija board, or you're not Charlieing your pencil, or whatever other crazy fad is going on out there. You're not using your runes or your Bible or whatever. You are just at the mall shopping, and then you turn around because for a split second you are instantaneously aware somebody's looking at you. And that person was outside of your peripheral vision, but you turn around and look at them and make eye contact, and then they turn around and look away. Or you're looking at somebody and it happens to you. How many times has that happened to somebody? Whether you're, a dude checking out the hot chick, or you're the chick checking out the dude, or the chick checking out the other chick, whatever. It doesn't matter. The fact is that it happens. And that it just happens on its own. And somehow, understanding that consciousness is the fundamental thing to matter seems to defy the minds of scientists, no matter how smart they claim to be. They just can't break their models. They just can't break their little precious models of anything. The information is available for anybody who wants to look at it with an open mind. And I'm going to post all these links. There's like 9 links here for anybody to read and think about or do more research on. There's so many books about the placebo effect, so many medical studies that have been done about it. It's undeniable that it happens. It's also undeniable that scientists don't have a clue as to why it happens. Reductive materialist scientists don't have a clue as to why it happens. And since we're not invoking any kind of spiritual demand when it happens, it also defies a lot of religious stuff. I mean, how can you perform something that is spiritual without even trying to be spiritual? Maybe it's because we all are fundamentally spiritual first and body second, even though our egos don't want us to know that. The ego being, I think, a product of the body, which interferes with our ability to tap into our spiritual selves, demanding that it be appeased all the time. So, I hope this video was informative, and thanks for the user Sophia for that suggestion, and tune in soon for more videos. Check out, I'll have a website for you guys to check out soon as I get off my lazy butt and fill it in with more content. It is a link that you can find on my channel header next to my Twitter button, which I also use. If you go to my channel, and let me see here. If you go to my channel, just a quick thing here. On the header, there's my website, which is kind of empty right now, and my Twitter. So if you want to go here, I'll have more content coming soon, and here my Twitter has full of interesting tweets sometimes. Anyway, take care. I'll talk to you guys later. See you. Bye.